Chapter 10. The Big Gala. I drove through the gates of the Asboth mansion. There were cars parked on the lawn. "It looks like your wife is having a gala," I said. We entered the mansion. Everyone was delighted to see Lars. No one remembered me or my wife. Caroline Asboth came down the stairs. She spotted Lars. "What are you doing here?" she asked.
"I own this place, don't I?"
he replied. Caroline Asboth glared at Lars and walked away. "I guess she doesn't remember us," whispered my wife. Lars began socializing with his guest. "Look," my wife elbowed me. "There's your old girlfriend, Etta Charles." I turned away from Etta, but it was too late. She saw me and hurried over. Then she grabbed both my hands. "Loris," she said, "I was hoping I'd see you this week." "Hello, Etta," I said. "Remember my wife?" "I think so." Etta gave my wife a strange look. My wife returned the look. "Are you seafaring again this summer, Etta?" I asked. "Of course." Etta released my hands. "My husband owns the Blanca Horchata." "Is the Blanca Horchata a yacht?" "Of course it's a yacht, silly. It's the enormous one anchored in the middle of the harbour." She pointed. "You can see it through the big windows." "I had no idea you got married again, Etta." Etta extended her left hand and showed me an enormous diamond ring. "I'm Frau Gebhardt von Blucher now. That's my husband." Etta pointed to an elderly gentleman who was sitting in a wheelchair. He didn't seem to know where he was. A nurse stood by his side, wiping his chin. Etta excused herself. She saw someone come into the room and hurried off to speak to that person. "I wonder if any of the other merry widows you slept with last summer are here," whispered my wife. "I see two more." "Who?" "Lady Fanny Ralston and Delia Ross," I pointed. Both women were standing on the other side of the room, talking to men dressed in fancy yachting clothes. "I thought you said you didn't sleep with Lady Fanny Ralston." "You're right, dear, I didn't. I know all your secrets, Loris. Yet I still love you." "What other secrets do you know?" "Nothing in particular." "On the ride down here, you mentioned John J. Pettis and Hugh Hanson." "Did I?" "You might as well tell me what you know. It'll make it easier for me to deny whatever it is, if at least I know what I'm lying about." "I ask only that you be careful." "About what?" "Whatever it is you're doing." "Can you tell me what you know and how you know it?" "I don't know anything, Loris." "Come with me." "Where are we going?" "To the boathouse." "Oh, do I finally merit one of your infamous boathouse romps?" "I think so." We arrived at the boathouse. The door was locked. "Oh, well," I said, "maybe later." We began walking back to the mansion. "Be honest," I said. "How did you know about Pettis and Hanson?" "I don't know anything, Loris. Truly, I don't." "You obviously do, or you wouldn't have mentioned both their names on the ride down from Boston." "I saw you and Lars poring over the newspaper this morning. It was you who pointed to the Pettis story. Then Lars read it after you did. Then you found the Hanson story. Lars read that one too. If I've learnt anything about Lars, it's that he has no interest in anything unless he's personally responsible for it happening." Lars was despondent when he arrived. I had to do something to cheer him up. "So you captured two outlaws?" A better way to describe what we did is to say that we helped facilitate their timely arrests. "Like I said before, Loris, I just hope you're being careful." "Lars and I are the luckiest men alive, dear. You know nothing bad will ever happen to us." "I'm starting to believe that." The boathouse door opened. A dark-haired woman and a young man with blonde hair stepped out. "Quick," I said. "That's Tricia Coddington. Turn around before she sees us." "Too late," whispered my wife. "Loris!" Tricia Coddington came rushing over. "Hello, Mrs. Coddington," I said. "It's Madame Pompidou now." Tricia Coddington showed me a large wedding ring. "Is that Monsieur Pompidou?" I pointed out to the blond man standing by the boathouse door. He was lighting a cigarette. No, that's Gunther von Blücher. I wonder if he's related to Gebhard von Blücher. I believe he's Gebhard von Blücher's son. We met Gebhard earlier. He's now married to Etta Charles. Oh? Madame Pompadour raised her eyebrows and looked at my wife. My wife nodded. It was nice seeing you again, Trish, I said. Let's have a drink later. Let's. Madame Pompadour rejoined Gunther Blücher and they walked back to the house. Gunther Blücher winked at my wife as they passed by. Yes or no? I pointed to the boathouse. Before my wife could answer, Lady Fanny Ralston hurried inside with a man dressed in a bright blue romper. Maybe that's Gebhard von Blücher's other son, whispered my wife.